a video on this pickled beetroot. So I have a confession that I've only bought this pickled beetroot because I wanted the jar. They how much were they? They were not. It was £9, and I got 4 jars for £9, and so that works out at what? That works out at £2 odd, £2.25. Yeah, £2.25 a piece, and that's cheaper to buy than I can actually buy a jar without anything in. And getting hold of them as well, it's getting more increasingly difficult. So I kind of thought, well, I'll just buy the pickled beetroot and I'll throw the pickled beetroot away, and then I'll have the jar which I kind of want. It's most of what I like about this size jar is it's a good size jar, but it comes with a relatively standard lid to it. So some of these jars come with. I've got one close by. Possibly. I'll pause. Hang on. Right. So some of these jars. This has just got some other things in. Some of these. It's quite relatively easy to get a hold of big jars for kind of projects. The only problem is the size of the lid. So it's a nice big jar, is that one, but it comes with a bigger lid, but a lot bigger than that one. So, but these are kind of quite standardized lids. These are a little bit bigger and the kind of special order, and therefore kind of cost more. So I much prefer to buy this size jar with that size lid. But if you've got something a little bit bigger like that, you can get your hand in there, but you can't get your hand in there. That's me waffling. So there's benefits to having each size jar, but most of it's because I preserve quite a bit of stuff. Getting hold of lids, because you kind of really need to, if you whatever you're preserving, you need a fresh lid every time. It's a little bit difficult. So having something with a standardized lid that I can get, there's a place near me that sells them wholesale that I can just pop in and buy. So my idea was kind of like that. I'll just buy these jars, and then in the farm shop they'll probably come down even more in money. So I might even buy some more of these jars with the pickles in and throw the pickles out. Now, that's very wasteful, isn't it? And that's kind of not what I don't really like wasting food. So let's get this open. And there's no way I'm ever going to eat that amount of pickles. So I did kind of think, well, I'm not going to completely waste it, because what we'll do is we will take we'll take the pickle juice and we'll reduce it down, and then we'll use that as a vinegar in something, and that'd be kind of quite nice. So we'll taste it. It's nice. It's a little bit, because of the beetroot's got a little bit of an earthy flavour to it. It's still got a decent bit of acidity to it. So we reduce that down and turn it into a vinegar. We can use that in something. But then we still got the idea of the actual beetroot and what we're going to do with that. Are we just going to throw it away? And then I was kind of thinking we could have a go at trying to make it into soup. So I do functions where people want a cheap function. Like cost is a major issue. So they kind of want things as cheaply as possible. They still want things nice to eat, but the emphasis is more on the price that they pay for whatever reason. Let's not judge too much. So I was kind of thinking, could we turn the beetroot into soup? It's going to be a bit pickly, so I thought what we'll do is we'll get around that pickly problem by soaking it in a little bit of water to see if we can extract some of that vinegar flavour out of it, and then we can see how well it purees down into a basic soup. So I'll make some basic soup with just some onions and a bit of stock and a bit of water, and then we'll puree these beetroot into it. Well, I might heat up the soup and then put the beetroot in, and then maybe a bit more, and then heat up the beetroot in the soup and then puree it down. I think we'll do it that way. So we just need a little bit of water. We'll do it off camera. So we'll just soak that beetroot in a little bit of water, and then that will draw out some of the acid that's in the beetroot, because we don't want that. We don't want a vinegary soup, do we? Yeah, it's a little bit vinegary. Not unpleasant. It's not like mouth-puckeringly vinegary, but it's still a little bit vinegary. So we'll soak that for a couple of hours, something like that, and then we'll see how it tastes. Delicious cream of beetroot soup made with pickled beetroot. Soak your pickled beetroot in water to remove the excess vinegary taste. And chop your onions, add some water and a chicken stock cube. Cook until tender. Remove the beetroot from the water and place in with the onions. Bring back up to the boil. Season with salt and pepper. Add a bit of full fat milk. Puree until smooth. Taste it. Add another stock cube if it needs it. Puree in the stock cube. That's lovely. So that was really nice, was that? It still had the, obviously I've eaten it, so I can't do a taste testing because I was rather hungry, because I've been to yoga and I've been going to do a few jobs and I hadn't had any breakfast and I was just ravenous, so I ate it with some toast and it was lovely. Just that little bit of pickle flavour that was left in the beetroot really kind of quite worked as well. So it works, and I kind of think it's one of those things where it's what's at the back of the cupboard. You kind of go, oh, there's this half jar of pickled beetroots from a year ago that need using up or thrown away, and I kind of think you can turn it into soup, drain off the vinegar, do something with the vinegar, and I've already decided what I'm going to do with the vinegar from the beetroots, and then soak the beetroots in a little bit of water to get rid of most of that pickle flavour, and you still get some beetroot flavour kind of coming through, and then just pare it down with some onions and some chicken stock and some water and some milk. Obviously I cooked the onion beforehand, but I don't really think you need to do that. I think you could put the beetroot in with the onion at the same time and it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference. I just happened to do it that way around because I wanted to. I had some peeled onions and I didn't want them leaving the house smelling of I had some pickled onions. I had some onions peeled that I needed using up, and I didn't want them to leave them out and for them to infect the rest of the house. So I cooked the onions to kind of get rid of that pungent onion smell, which I didn't want in the house. But anyway, so that's delicious, and I'll be able to use that at a cheap function. So when someone wants a cheap function from me, I'll be able to use that beetroot up and not throw it away, and it won't be a waste. So I'll get the jar, I'll get the pickle liquid, and I'll also be able to do something with the beetroots as well. So that's a success.